Wilson. She is Doterra, a wellness advocate. In the past, she has also been in the Air Force, so she is a military veteran. She has also been a military spouse for the last 15 years. They live in an RV and they travel around. So she also homeschools her 7-year-old daughter. And so Alana's been involved in many different organizations, volunteering, and she's going to share all of those things with you today. So with that, let's give it up to Alana Wilson.
Okay, is this working? Hello? Okay. Thank you so much. I am sleep deprived if the rest of you had that storm come through. We had a bed full of a 7-year-old and dogs and all the things, so it's going to be a fun morning. Okay, well, thank you so much for that amazing introduction, and I'm super excited to share with you guys a little bit about, here we go, a little bit about my life and what we do. So we are Adventures of a Natural Family. So that's our brand. That's how you can find us on social media and our website. But it kind of encompasses a lot. So if you look here, our main thing that we do is I get to educate people on health and wellness with Doterra. I also run 2 online communities for military families and spouses. And so I will share those with you guys. So this is kind of my life here. I was in the Air Force for 4 years. I was in the medical field. I loved it, but I actually started as a military spouse. So I was a military spouse for about 5 years before I joined the military. I saw my husband doing it, and I said, well, that looks pretty cool. I think I could do that. But really, it was actually out of a necessity for education. So military bases are not always in the most ideal locations for families, for schools, for things like that. So we got stationed at kind of a rural base. And so for educational opportunities, I decided to join the military, and that's how I was going to get into the healthcare field. So I went and did all my training and came back there and served there with my husband. And it was an amazing experience. But then we decided to start a family. And with both people being in the military, that can be a little bit difficult. With deployments and schedules and things like that. I worked crazy schedules at the hospital. And so it was better for him to stay in and me to get out. So I got out when we had that little girl up there, and I got to stay home with her. So like Melanie said, I'm a homeschool mom, and I get to be the stable one while my husband comes and goes all the time. Today is actually his 1 year from coming home from deployment last year, and now we're also preparing for him to leave again. So that's kind of our life, but I get to be the somewhat stable one. But you can see we also live in an RV, so we love adventure. We actually started that when we came here. That was our solution to the housing here in Rapid City. So that is what we do. Our constant is change, is what I like to say. Okay, so I want to start off by telling you guys a little bit about my business and what I do. So like I said, I educate people with natural solutions using essential oils. And for those of you who are brand new, I kind of just want to touch on a little bit of the basics, and that's kind of my favorite thing to teach people anyway. So is anyone here brand new to essential oils? Have you not heard of them? Have you never used them? Or is everyone a pro? All the men are raising their hands. Okay, so we'll touch on a little bit of the basics, and sometimes people know things, but they don't really know all the things. So what is an essential oil? It comes from plants. It comes from different parts of the plant, and we steam distill it or we cold press it to get it out of the plant. So within the plant, it is really just the plant's defense mechanism, their immune system. And what's really cool is that we get to take that and use that within ourselves for those same benefits. So it's a pretty cool thing. It's a kind of a natural way to take care of anything that comes up in your life. They are super duper powerful, also that you guys can see here too, which is fantastic because that means we just need a little tiny bit of oil for each issue. So how do we use them? So we get to use them 3 ways. And I will say my education is based on doTERRA's essential oils. Do not take what I say and go down to Walmart and do the same thing. They are not the same, and we'll talk about that in just a minute. So the 3 ways that we use our doTERRA essential oils is 1, aromatically. So we breathe them in. I set up a diffuser for you guys here this morning. And some of the benefits, so I put in a citrus oil. Citrus oils make us happy. So that's a good way to start the day. So 1, with aromatic use, you can affect mood. So having a bad day, cranky kiddos, cranky spouse, you can diffuse oils that can help with that. Also, you can help support the immune system. So we're coming into fall and back to school season where that's going to be all over everybody's Facebooks. So we can actually diffuse oils that help keep our home healthy and fend off against those germs. We can also help with the respiratory system as well too. So that's a huge benefit too. Topical use means that we put it on our body. So we can get full body results. I love the bottom of the feet and the spine if you want things like calming, sleep, supporting the immune system, stuff like that. But you can also put them on locally to the area where you're having an issue. So if you're having some head tension, if you're having tummy troubles, if you're having some pain, some aches and pains, you can use oils topically to help with those things. Internally is also a great way to use oils. So I actually have some in my water here. You can get benefits as far as adding flavor. You can cook with them. You can also get cleansing benefits for your body. And also things like supporting your digestive system and stuff like that. Okay, so why doTERRA? I mentioned earlier, don't take what I'm saying and run down to Walmart and buy the $3.97 bottles of oil. They're not the same. So there is no regulation in the essential oil industry. So it's up to the companies to maintain their own regulation. Unfortunately, that's just not a big priority for a lot of companies. So you're seeing essential oils everywhere. So a lot of people actually said that they know about essential oils or use essential oils in here. So you guys are probably seeing them everywhere. They're at Walmart, they're at Target, they're at the dollar store, they're on Amazon. I mean, they're everywhere. And that is cool that they're becoming more mainstream, but unfortunately, it's also sad at the same time because there is massive adulteration within the essential oil industry. Almost all of what you find on the shelves of every single store, even health food stores, is adulterated, which means something's been added, something synthetic. It's not the actual plant that it says it is. It's like a cheap imitation plant. So there's a lot of that goes on in the essential oil industry. So why I fell in love with doTERRA, I was a brand new mom and I was looking for some natural things we could do. I came from the healthcare field, so that's all that I knew. That was my lane. So for me to kind of switch over to the natural side of things took me a little bit of time. I was kind of skeptical, but I was really wanted something that I could feel really good about using on my brand new baby. So I found doTERRA and I found what their standard was, and that is certified pure therapeutic grade. And that means that there is no fillers added, there is no pesticides used in the growing process, there's no chemicals, foreign contaminants, anything like that. They test a ton in-house as well as sending out to a third party to test as well too. So tons of testing with that. And they actually, you can go to source2u.com if you want to check out their testing and learn more about their sourcing there. So I wanted to touch on real quick as we're talking about quality, what usually happens with the typical process of getting oils from the field, from the plants to us. So this is what happens if you're buying at a store. It's going to go from the farmer to the distiller. And usually they're grown all over the world. And that's another thing I love about doTERRA is they actually go to where the plants are naturally from to get their essential oil. So when they go to these countries, this is what typically happens with essential oils. So the farmers send it to the distiller, who then sends it to an in-country broker or perfumist, which means they're going to adulterate it, they're going to mark up the price, they're going to take a big cut, and honestly the farmers are the ones who are left on the short end of the stick. So that's in country, then it's going to go to, for example, the United States or to Europe, and it's going to, again, go to more brokers. We're going to broker deals, cut it down, adulterate it, things like that. Then it's going to go to the company, they slap their label on it, and then sell it, put it in their store, and sell it to you. Oops. This is what Doterra does, and again, this is why I fell in love with this company, is that they go into these countries and they work with the farmers. So you guys, I just mentioned about their testing and how committed they are to that. They're also super committed to changing lives all over the world, including these farmers. So the farmers distill on site, goes directly to Doterra, so we're cutting out all the middlemen and we're working directly with the farmers to pay them fairly, to pay them on time, which is a huge, huge issue, especially in considering we get a lot of our oils from third world countries. So these farmers are usually massively taken advantage of. So they go from the distiller to Doterra. Then, of course, we do all of our testing in-house and third-party, and then it comes to us. That's how we're able to do pure essential oils at this quality for the price point that we can sell them at. Okay, so who is Doterra? Again, if you guys are new to essential oils or companies of essential oils, this is why I fell in love with Doterra too. They have become the world's largest essential oil company, but they still have the heart of a small company. They are privately held and debt-free, and that was a huge, huge thing to the owners. They have over $1 billion in assets and 7 million customers worldwide, 3,200 corporate employees in 16 offices in 16 countries. So growing hugely because people want quality things, and they want to connect to a community, which I'll talk about in a minute. So this is the mission too, to change the world one drop, one person, one community at a time, and that has not changed. Like I said, the heart of this company has not changed, even though they've grown so big. So this is where they started. They have 7 owners that came together, and what they did was they actually mortgaged their houses, put their retirements on the line, did everything to start this because they knew that there was a problem in the essential oil industry and they wanted to change the way that things were done. They also knew that they didn't want to take outside money because outside money then now has a say in the direction of the company. They did not take a paycheck for 18 months as they started this company and got it off the ground. It was like, we're all in, we're going to be successful or we're going to lose it all. But it's really cool to see the heart of these owners and being able to talk with them and really see where they've taken Doterra and where they see it going. So this is just to show you guys the growth of Doterra. Within 7 years, they became a $1 billion company. So that is huge, huge, huge. And so you can say, all right, great, largest essential oil company in the world. They are $1 billion company. They could be like, great, we've accomplished our mission. We're done. We're good to go. Now we can kind of coast and let this thing keep doing what it's doing. But no, they don't do that. They still have a mission, like I said, to change people's lives one drop at a time. So now they have a mission to disrupt healthcare, which I love because I came from the healthcare industry. I came from the military healthcare industry. So I can tell you guys that there is so much broken in our healthcare. And I love that Doterra is wanting to change that and disrupt that as well too. So they currently have 3 clinics that they have opened, and they have 30 more cities slated for the next 5 to 10 years, and probably closer to 5 years. With your healthcare right now, your insurance company is dictating your care. They're dictating, the procedures you can have done, the tests that you can have done, the medications that you can have. So with this, they're actually no insurance company. So you're working directly with your doctor. Your care comes from you and your doctor. You also get huge amounts of time with your doctor. Right now, we get about 5 to 10 minutes if we're lucky. You get 30 to 60-minute appointments. So it really is getting to the root causes of what's going on with people and helping them live a healthier, more well life. Okay, so how I got started and how I earned money with Doterra. So I told you about how I got started with being a mom. I never intended to do this as a business. When I got started, that was it. I just wanted a solution for myself and my brand new baby. But honestly, I fell in love with these oils and I could not help but share them with other people. So it sort of became a business on its own. It's kind of one of those things that sort of grabs you when you weren't looking. So that's what happened to me, and I'm so thankful that it happened this way. So how I earn money, of course, this is sales. But to me, it's so different than that. I get to empower and teach people to take control of their health. So when people buy essential oils from me, yes, I earn commission, but it's not like other network marketing companies where I have to take all of these orders and order all this stuff and deliver it out to people. I actually get to just teach people about how to take control of their health and help them do it themselves. So I earn money, obviously, like I said, off my own sales, also off of my team as well. But what I do is I get to educate people. I get to educate people in person, in classes. We had an awesome class here in Rapid City last night. I get to do one-on-ones where I get to sit down and have a cup of coffee with people and find out what's going on with them and what can help them. I also do a lot of stuff online, classes, videos, things like that, and I'll share with that in just a second. So a different way of doing business. That is my goal. Because when you're in the sales industry, whenever you say, sales, what do you think of a salesman? You get all these thoughts in your head, and most of them are not positive. We are in the market right now to purchase a new RV. My husband's leaving for a year, and my daughter and I want to travel. And we have gone down to Denver twice. And let me tell you what, it has been the worst experiences ever. Sitting down with these salesmen feeling like they don't care about you, they don't care about your family, they don't care about what's going on, they want to make the most amount of money off of you, and that's it. You walk out the door, they're like, I'm never going to see you again, I don't care what happens to you. And it stinks. Having interactions like that is not pleasant, and I strive to be different in my business. When I connect with people and when I help them get started, when I make a sale, I'm bringing them into a community. We're starting a relationship. I want to get to know you. I want to get to know what's going on in your life and figure out how to help you. I want you to leave the sales experience feeling like, hey, I'm on this cool new journey. So that's one of my passions as well. And I just have to point out, we have some awesome community members in the back here. Here's some of my marketing that I do. So I do a lot on Facebook and Instagram. Instagram's really where I put a ton of my focus. I'm trying to work with doing graphics and doing videos and keeping up with those pesky algorithms. But it's been a lot of fun to be able to connect with people that way. I do a lot of full classes on my Facebook page as well too. So it's an amazing way that I've been able to connect with and grow my business all over the world using social media, which has been a really, really awesome tool. And it was not a tool that existed when I started this journey. So it's amazing how it's evolved. So here's just to touch on what I do in the military community. This is a little portion of my presentation because this honestly is just a passion project. I obviously don't earn any money for my family from these, but I'm just so passionate about being a military veteran and a military spouse. So I love to also pour any little bit of extra time I have into this. So when we came here, I did not start the families page for Ellsworth. I came in 3 years ago and took it over. It used to be a mom's group and we transitioned it to a families group. I also added a day for military spouses to be able to advertise their businesses because I think that is super important as well too, to support the military spouse entrepreneurial journey. So here at Ellsworth, we advertise what's going on, weather stuff, base closures, like all that kind of stuff. So our community is in the know kind of with what's going on as far as recreation and, important stuff too. Military spouse tribe. Okay, so first for Ellsworth communities or Ellsworth families, my husband and I were invited by Facebook to go to their community summit in Chicago in 2017. And so that was a really cool experience to go and learn more about building a community, network with other community builders as well. And then from that, I really had this bigger vision for this military community we were creating online. So I wanted to create what we've done at Ellsworth and do it for all military spouses. So that's how MilSpouse Tribe was born from that. We've grown pretty quickly. I think we're at almost 5,000 members in our community there. And we have had the most amazing, touching posts. The people feel safe. People can post that they're having a hard time with deployments, or they're having a hard time in their marriage, or they're having a hard time with military life, or they're having a hard time as a mom. And the love that's poured out on them is such a cool thing to see. And I love that we get to create that in an online space for people where they feel safe. And then again, this year, I was invited to go to Facebook headquarters and to represent my MilSpouse Tribe group at their second community summit here in the States. So.
Hi, I'm Colleen Ray, the new freedom acupuncture and oriental medicine. I actually use Doterra oils, and I love them, and I love the customer service. So what do you think, if you had to pick one, the best single oil, most useful that you found is? Sorry, I hope that's not a sharp question.
Right? I thought this is the go we take. Oh my goodness, you are killing me. And people ask me that all the time. It feels someone just asked me that last night. Oh, well, it depends on the day. It depends on what is going on. My first love, and probably always my love, will be frankincense. It really is good for everything. It's good for everything. So many uses and benefits, and great for the skin, great for the cells, great for the immune system, great for the mood. I mean, if you need a do-it-all in one bottle, this is pretty close. Although cold and flu season coming up, On Guard is fantastic, protective blend. If you're dealing with some respiratory support, man, you will be loving Breathe. So it kind of depends on what's going on, but if I was on a desert island with only one oil, it probably would be frankincense.
Good morning, Marie Strang with Edward Jones. I really appreciate your passion and obviously your experience with Doterra. Can you tell us a little bit about maybe your 5-year business goal, but also how that's impacting your personal growth as well?
Yes. Oh my gosh, that's a great question. So 5-year goal is like in my face all the time because my husband retires from the military in 4 years. So this is going to be what we do when he retires. He has put in 20 years, Will have put in 20 years of being gone and working crazy shifts, 6 days a week right now. And I mean, he switches shifts every other week. And I am so excited that in 4 years, I'm going to be able to have him home. He's not gonna have to leave again. And so I love that we're getting ourselves to the point in our business that we're going to be able to do that. We're going to be able to travel. So we live in an RV now, but we want to take that RV full-time on the road and do some traveling. So yeah, that's our plan, is to get our business at a place where it is sustainable for us. So again, what I love about Doterra is the residual income model. It's not I have to be always doing classes because that's my only form of income, which is with a lot of network marketing, where if you stop doing what you're doing, you stop earning money. But with Doterra, the way that it's set up is the way that we educate people and help them to empower themselves is that we are not hauling buckets, we're building a pipeline. And that when the time comes, we can travel, we can step back, we can do what we're doing, and our team will have been educated to continue doing what they're doing. There's always ebbs and flows in my business, and I love that there's some months where I just get to be present and do all the things I want to do, and there's some months when life is, right here, and I have to focus on that. And I love that my paycheck really doesn't change. So I love that, again, we get to build that with Doterra. So I don't know if my husband wants me to say this, but in the amount of time it's taken him 15 years in the military, last year I was able to surpass his income. And so again, we're want to get to the point where he can comfortably retire. We don't want to retire where we're hanging on by our fingernails. We want to be able to comfortably retire in 4 years.
Tina Beckett, character coach. How did you learn your social media? Was it just on your own, classes, through doTERRA, or something else?
Oh, yeah, I would have to say a lot on my own. It is always changing. So being willing to jump into new things and try new things and go with the flow, I feel like that is a perk of my military life, is being able to go with the flow. It's taught me that or die. So just being able to see what's thrown at you with social media and things that change and stuff like that and jump into it. I also have, amazing collaboration within the doTERRA community. I have some cross-line sisters that we talk about social media and we talk about what's going on and we kind of help each other out and things like that. So that is a really cool little side community that we've built there. But really just trying new things. Sometimes they are massively successful and sometimes it is an epic failure. But just keep trying new things and it's just been a slow process. It's not all of a sudden I was an expert at one or the other. It was me saying, okay, well, I'm going to start this journey and be consistent. That's the biggest thing, honestly, with business and with social media, is being consistent with it, working at it every day. But yeah, it's not something specifically that doTERRA trains on or any courses. I've seen a few courses, and if you're brand new beginner, like you don't know anything about social media, those can be beneficial. But I've not seen a lot of high level social media courses that I've heard that any of them are like giving you some magic.
Emma with Isogenics. I think I saw up on the screen 15 years that doTERRA's been, 15 countries is what I was wanting to know about, 15 countries.
They're in more countries than that. They have offices.
Oh, okay.
In those.
So I know Facebook goes all over the place, so my question really is, are you personally and your team in different countries, and are you connecting on Facebook, or have you also tried LinkedIn? That's kind of the whole question here.
Right. I have not tried LinkedIn, and I've heard good things about it, but it's kind of like, I feel like I can be really good at a few things or be too spread out with too many things. So as far as like Twitter and LinkedIn, it's like so tempting to like want to jump in and swim in that pond, and Pinterest. But really, just trying to think of my time and where I'm at and what I have available. Just for me, being able to focus on Facebook and Instagram is kind of my max right now. Maybe when hopefully soon I hire a virtual assistant. And then me personally, yes, my team is in several different countries. I am just so thrilled to see we've had massive growth in Italy this month. So really cool to see sort of what's been taking off. Yes, Australia.
I have a question. I'm Leah with Nsight Partners. It feels like a very saturated market in Rapid City. Everybody seems to be selling doTERRA. How do you stay competitive? How do you stay on top or compete with others?
Right. Well, what I love with doTERRA is that we're really are like a family. I know that there's other people here in Rapid City that we're on different teams, but we really are a family and try to communicate and hang out and help each other and stuff like that. So as far as like competition goes, it's not like some other businesses where you really see that fierce competition. It really is kind of like a family, even though we're not on the same team. And as far as saturation goes, that is absolutely a myth. There are statistics, and there's so much I wanted to cram into this presentation, but I couldn't. It's about, I want to say 8% of the whole country has even heard of doTERRA. So sometimes we're in this bubble where we know other naturally minded people and we feel saturated because all of our friends know about something, but that's not necessarily the case. That's just sort of the bubble that you're in. So I think it's like 3% of the country uses doTERRA maybe. So it's, I mean, just a fraction. Even in where the headquarters are, I mean, it's still only like 12%. So, I mean, such a tiny fraction of the population is using essential oils and using doTERRA. And it's very interesting that the percentage of people that are interested in natural things, especially with the way that healthcare is going, is just getting huge. So there's a lot of people that are going to be hearing more about natural things and hearing more about doTERRA as their clinics start to open. So, I mean, the growth that's coming is going to be really big.
Scott Wiley with PCCI. You said you were in the healthcare field even before this, and that you had to overcome some skepticism. And so would you tell that story a little bit? It's like, what was it that really clinched it for you?
Yeah, absolutely. So for myself, so I was in the healthcare field. I worked labor and delivery, and I worked in the ER and OBGYN. And that's just the route that I knew. That's kind of how I grew up too, is like you have an issue and you know, that's how you handle it. So for me, natural things were just never a part of my life. I had some other mom friends that cloth diapered and stuff like that, and I used to tease them. But when you become a mom, when you become a parent, all of a sudden your whole mindset and the way you see the world and see things just changes. You know, now it's no longer just about me. I'm now responsible for growing a person. I'm responsible for how they turn out. I'm responsible for their health. And so we just started to think about the things that were in our environment, not necessarily essential oils, but foods and stuff, and how it was affecting our bodies. I could get real personal here, but I'll maybe leave that. Cleaning products, just some health issues that I had going on our journey to actually become parents and stuff like that. And sort of some of the answers of, well, this is because it is. So now the more that I've learned, kind of accepting that maybe that's not necessarily the truth or the only answer, thinking about everything that we put in our body and how it affects us, and kind of just opening my eyes up to that. I had no idea about essential oils, that this was a thing. I remember my friend, she was a chiropractor, and she was talking on Facebook about how lavender was super beneficial for her kiddos and sleep. And I was a new mom, and I hadn't slept in 3 months. So I was like, okay, what are these like, I literally was like, what are these magic oils you're talking about? And we've kind of all see those things that we're like, oh, that sounds really cool. And then you get it into your home, like that late night infomercial that you're like, I need that cooker. And you get it into your home, and you're just like, this is just my oven, like on my countertop. So it's just one of those things where it sounds really cool. And then you're like, okay, well, I'll try it. I haven't slept in 3 months, so, let's put them into my home. But I came into that with that skeptical eye, kind of thinking, okay, well, how great is this really going to be? And it's amazing the benefits we saw right away. I got them, honestly, just to use on my daughter. Like, I wanted something safe and natural I could use on her and not have to worry about the side effects and all the things that we have from other things. But then I was like, oh, so digestion is good for digestive health, and I have some digestive issues. And all of a sudden, before I knew it, I had changed my entire life. And then, but whether he liked it or not, my husband's life was going to change as well. So I did. I came in very, very skeptical, but over and over and over, they worked. And that's honestly what changed my mind, is using them.
I have a question. Mike Prayer, Rock Cox. So you, military health field, do you have any experience in sales, or were you thrust into the sales sphere with this?
I had worked like in a coffee shop. I'd worked in a retail store for a couple months, like clothing, but no like real sales, no real wear. It's like, when you're just working for an hourly wage, it doesn't really matter how many shirts you sell. So no real sales experience other than just life. You know, we kind of all think that there's salesmen and non-salesmen, but we're kind of all salesmen. When kids talk their parents into something, they're a salesman. When we talk our husbands or our spouses into something, we're a salesman. So that's really my only experience. And there's no big like sales training or anything I went through that was like, oh, here's how you become a salesman. It really was just sharing from my heart and knowing that how do I get oils into people's home? Well, I have to sell it to them. But yeah.
So I have a question. Melanie Torno with Torno Mediation Mental Health Services. So being a military spouse, a homeschool mom, RV family, doTERRA expert, how do you balance it all? What does your daily schedule look like, and what do you do to take care of yourself?
Right? That is such a good question. I fail a little bit at everything every day. It's hard. I feel like that's probably my biggest struggle is finding the time and the balance between being a mom and giving her what she needs. Making sure that we're on track with homeschooling, being a military spouse, being involved in that community, being a spouse in general to my husband who's about to leave, trying to soak up that time, trying to support a massively growing team and do social media and doing all of those things. And I mean, it's just doing what I can in every day, making a list. Okay, this is what I want to accomplish today. These are what I really want to accomplish today. And then sometimes feeling like a rock star when I actually make it through the list. And then sometimes feeling like a total failure when nothing gets done. So it really is just this balancing act every single day. And it really is something that I struggle with to sort of find that balance in it all. I'm hoping to bring on a virtual assistant here soon to help sort of do some of the stuff that is just time consuming, but isn't really where my passion is, But I think just trying to do my best every day, using my oils to help me stay motivated, paying someone to clean my camper, even though it's only 400 square feet. So first I do want to say, thank you guys. If you guys do want to check out any oils or learn more about me, like I have some up here for you guys to do. So that's obviously the first thing is, getting the word out there more. But I'm huge into collaboration. So I have a lot of avenues, obviously, within my social media, within the audience that I can reach with that, within the military spouse community, and stuff like that. So I'm a huge fan of collaboration over competition. So I know that we have a lot of different diverse small businesses out here, but if there's ways that we can help each other out to help spread the word about what you're doing and spread the word about what I'm doing within your circle and my circle, I love that. I'm open to that. I love any way that we can support veterans and military spouses, I think is huge as well too.